Thank you for staying with us here on the Speed Gaming channel. We are coming up to game number 3 between Teto and Ninban right now. And hey, Hammerbro mentioned it earlier, and he was absolutely correct. I'm Cyclone. He and I have not gone anywhere. So, Hammerbro, ready for game number 3?
Yep, I hope this one's a tie and we get to do a game number 4 right after this. I mean, what?
That's a valid option. I don't see a reason to not want that. Anyway, game number 4 will probably be a later time if that happens, but we'll see what happens. In the meantime, talk about that last race because there was something really, really peculiar, really important, you could say, that happened in that race that gave Teto the victory here. Let's look back on when the runners picked up the bow in the last race. Both did it as part of the mushroom glitch at Magic Bat. That was the first bow for both runners. Ninban did get the silver arrows, but Teto never got the silver arrows. It is really important to note that the mushroom glitch was what gave Teto the victory there. Just knowing when to do these glitches in a way to potentially advantage yourself can really be key in winning a randomizer race like this.
Yeah, that's a good point. Not to mention the fact that the mushroom glitch was actually gotten from another glitch because that mushroom was sitting in the waterfall cave. And Teto, at the time of grabbing that mushroom, did not have the flippers. That's something that Ninban did quite a bit after, once they did actually grab the flippers. But that meant that Teto was able to clear pod the first time dipping it, and then go ahead and take out Eastern directly after, where Ninban did not have that luxury. So it was, dare I say, a fetch quest of glitches for getting that bow early. Because the vanilla way would have been waiting until you'd gotten the shovel from the pyramid ledge, and then going to the dig spot, digging up the mitts, which would then have given you access to the smith chain. And for those of you who are around for game 2 in this match, you notice that Ninban grabbed what was the silvers for them, but would have, by logic, been the first bow in Gary's lunchbox. So yeah, the intended logic route was not fun.
Yeah, he got them both back-to-back because he had all the items, and that made it possible for him to do the whole chain at once. That's why he got both back-to-back. So either you did it by logic and you got that not fun bow, or you did it by glitches that are very common, and guess what? You're going to get that first bow a lot quicker. That's why Teto won game number 2. That's why I won game number 3. And we're going to see what kind of fun things happen here in game number 3. As Teto already heading up to escape. He did that in the first game, in game number 2 as well. I saw a pendant at Tower Hera and crystal at Eastern Palace. I think that was a green at Tower Hera.
Yep. Tower of Hera is a green pendant, and the other 2 Light World dungeons are standard crystals.
And Teto found a sword up here in game number 2 very quickly. That led him to escape very quickly. So let's see if we're lucky to find a weapon up here at the start of game number 3. Ninban doing the route around the Lost Woods again. He has changed his sprite to, he's now playing as Argus, but without the Argus.
Well, yeah, I feel like having the Argus would make the sprite a little bulky. But anyways, we did get some bombs over in Sanctuary, which is really nice. It's nice to have those bombs early. Meanwhile, Teto mainly just getting rupees here, and not a whole lot of them. So that early bottle on Ninban's side over in the vanilla mushroom spot is actually really useful. Not necessarily for the safety it provides for these runners, since they're both very good at this game, but it will allow us, as, hey, we get a single arrow. It will allow us to go ahead and check Sick Kid right off the bat here, which means we won't have to come back for Kakariko later, hopefully.
Now, we've been asked if there have been any changes for the final game. I'm not seeing. I'm looking at the seed type right now. I don't see any changes. It looks like we're still playing a standard open seed from what I can tell here. So unless I'm mistaken, we're doing a regular standard seed for all, or regular open seed, I should say, for all 3 games of this particular matchup.
Yep, neither runner appeared to make any changes or to want to make any changes to it, so we are doing 3 seeds of our normal set of settings. Meanwhile, we did see a full heart over on the Lumberjack Cave.
So looking at the back of blind set right now, Ninban finding, well, not much so far. A little bit of money, some sticks, some skewers for lunch. There's the bow to fire those skewers for lunch.
Alright, so that is not going to be one of our trolley items this game, which is nice to knock that off the list. We didn't ask it super early, but we haven't gotten a whole lot yet. So, Cyclone, do you have any ideas or preferences on what our runners are going to be searching high and low for this game?
We got a really fire rod last season. Let's make him hunt for it.
Again, I feel like I've seen so many fire rod hunt games.
You gotta have one, right? We kind of both got what we wanted last seed. We got the bow located at the end of a fetch quest, no matter how you did it, the glitch way or the non-glitch way, as in non-logic. And then you got the late ice rod. So we kind of both got what we wanted. Let's just have something normal and nasty this.
All right, fine. You want normal and nasty. I am going to follow my namesake. I want Go Mode Hammer.
Okay. Does that mean pedestal?
Nah, it means Pyramid Fairy.
Okay. Okay. That works. And there is a piece of heart in the chicken hut. And in echoes of the previous seed, Teto has found a sword already, and Ninban appears has not. Now he has it.
Take it back. Take it back.
That explains why the kid was sick.
He is a wielder of dark weapons.
Oh, there's our shovel, so we may have to head over and dig very quickly here, since this is our Sphere Zero checks.
Yeah, I feel like both of our runners are probably going to do that after they take a look at the race game.
I feel they will either do that, or they will go back to the beginning and do it as a separate hunt later, going to Hype Cave when they go to the Dark World. That could be a possibility as well, but they'd have to put that off a little bit if they want to do it that way. Ninban going over to the race game. We may or may not get to see very well what was over there. I saw the edge of something. It looked like a bottle. It looked like a bottle of red goo, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take a guess at red goo there. I'm not certain, and we'll see it in just a moment on Tito's side. I'm fairly certain here, but I believe it was red goo. Meanwhile, we are going to get that dig spot check from Ninban. We'll see if it's a glove again.
Looks like Teto did not have a sword. It might have just been mismarked on the tracker initially, because he just picked up the fighter sword right now from Sick Kid.
It's okay, it was just foreshadowing. It all works out. Alright, so it looks like Ninban is headed with that bow straight over to Eastern. And we're going to go ahead and get the back of the Hospitalist Closet, and then probably at least part of Eastern Palace. Wouldn't surprise me to see all of it, in spite of the fact that without either of our fire sources, this was going to go ahead and be out of logic for us, because we have a couple of dark rooms.
The runners will 100% do this out of logic. At this point in the tournament, everyone in the tournament is able to do Eastern Palace dark rooms. The runners will not forego that, because they know they will lose time if they don't follow that step and do that themselves. There's a bottle of red goo there, by the way, and there's our lamp. This could be a very bad sign.
I mean, in order for it to be a fully bad sign, we are still going to need either another sword or the cape. So it's not full-on bad yet.
That's why I said could be, because there are 3 items in Eastern Palace, and I have seen swords and capes inside Eastern Palace before.
That's a fair point. We also do technically have, at the very least, now the front and the back of Escape in logic, since we do have that lamp. So that's another area that has at least a couple of items waiting for us.
Now here's another thing to think about. The fact that we have the lamp already means that we're going to have to consider that Eastern Palace clear might be necessary for logical progression. Now, it's not guaranteed. I've seen early access to Swamp Palace be nothing. So, but the fact that we have everything to do this means that there's a very high chance in the mind, at least, especially this early, that you're going to have to head over to Eastern Palace. You're going to have to clear it out fully, and there could be something sitting on Armos Knights that's necessary for progression. That's what this is kind of screaming at you. Now, again, may not be true, but it's just screaming this at you. Meanwhile, we did find our blue shirt in the back of Sasral's closet, as I think we might have commented on earlier. Argus is looking a lovely shade of blue right now because of that.
Yep. But basically, that back of Sahasrala's closet turns as we run into the flippers over in Eastern. So, yeah, good call on that early swap access. Let's not see any more of that, shall we?
Well, that wasn't my call, but it's worth knowing that the flippers were not part of either the bow or the lamp part of the Logic in Eastern Palace. They were in the first chest, so the flippers just happened to be sitting there.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But basically, with that lamp sitting in the back of Sahasrala's closet, this turned into well, let's go ahead and get Eastern done because I can clear it even though it's out of Logic, to, well, let's go find everything we need in Eastern Palace, as there's your fire rod.
Yeah, see it, anyone?
No, because the hammer is going to be tucked away somewhere. I already told you.
Yeah, pretty much. So we are now going to head into the darkness. The dark and spooky. Wait a minute, this isn't Palace Darkness. Why is it dark here?
Well, I mean, where do you think Palace Darkness stole it from?
Nah, valid.
Alright, so we do have one more item that is locked away here in Eastern. Be interesting to see if it's something else useful.
You mean like a hammer?
No, that's going to be our go mode item.
Well, about half an hour in? No, I'm kidding. Anyway, there's our big key. We had to have the big key here. We knew that. So, last item is up on the Armos Knight.
I mean, hey, if it's our go mode item at half an hour in, it's still our go mode item.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get a big chest check here just in case. And there it is.
Oh, well,
Piece of heart.
I forgot that we had not opened the big chest. So that was our third item. That means Armos Knights... Or that was our third item, I believe, correct?
It is. You are correct.
Yeah. So that means Armos Knights will just have a dungeon item.
Flippers, fire rod, and a pizza heart. And Ninban is going to go ahead and grab themselves some rupees in the less often seen rupee room of Eastern Palace. There are 90 rupees there, so not a bad grab, especially since the seed has been quite a bit more stingy than the last one with 300 rupee counts at least so far, so not a bad grab.
I could see a Houlihan play just to make sure we can get King Zora completely covered, because we're going to be able to go do one trip up to King Zora. We're done there. It would be nice to be able to get to the Dark Road and get to Catfish at the same time, but we may not have an easy way to do that. We may not be able to double those up. So getting the money now, getting King Zora taken care of, because we have the flippers. Everything there is in Logic. Get it done, and then just do Catfish at a somewhat less convenient time later.
I mean, honestly, Houlihan's a good call, but with the flippers and without the glove, can we do Houlihan?
There is a way to go. Well, maybe we. There is a place you can do it. I think with a tomb. I've never actually done it with a tomb, but I know the one you're talking about is near the water.
Right. The only two ways that I know are either dropping yourself off that ledge over by the witch until you can fall down the hole, or doing the bomb jump into the back of Escape.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of, the bomb jump into Escape.
Yeah, but we don't have the glove for that. So until we find that glove, we won't be able to do that Houlihan check.
Very true. So that won't come into play yet. We'll have to see if money shows up somewhere else and forgoes the need for a Houlihan. That will also come into consideration.
Well, yeah, that would be by far the ideal situation. Meanwhile, we are going to get an escape check.
I mean, we have a sword, so why not?
Yeah, might as well. As Teto is going to go ahead and get rid of the first boss of the game for them.
And he's also doing that quick kill. I talked about it last
Commentator's curse.
He messed it up. He messed it up. So yeah, that's not going to work. He's just going to go ahead and sacrifice the fact that the knight's going to turn red at this point.
Alrighty, so at under 13 minutes in, both of our runners have a crystal already. Not a bad start. Yeah, and at this point, you're probably going to see both of our runners put off those flipper checks as much as they can. Teto is going to go ahead and do some South Shore stuff to go ahead and get that out of the way.
I think he routed. I think he routed from here to the right last time and orphaned Agina for a while. There's our flute, by the way, in escape. So I think he went to the right and orphaned Agina for a while. Let's see if he actually does go to Agina this time. Since Agina didn't have anything last game, I don't see him doing that, but you never know.
Yeah, routing is a fickle thing, and most of the time runners don't have a strict route they enjoy following and just kind of more play it by ear.
Ah, money.
I mean, not a bad thing at this point.
And simultaneous check pickups. We have some sticks on Tito's side, a heart on Ninban's side. Ninban is probably going to try to set up a death warp here. The worst thing that can happen when you are trying to set up a death warp, the absolute worst thing that can happen is that you get a fourth piece of heart in the chest right before you set up that death warp.
Sang cart, sang cart, sang cart.
That too.
Yeah, that would do it. Looks like we're going to be doing that death warp via bombs here.
It looks like it. So he's going to get the kill. Kill it with fire after going down half a heart. Why not? Will we get a failed death warp or will we get an actual death warp? We're going to get an actual death warp. So just pick up the bomb, accept the explosion. Goodbye, cruel world.
That is one of the more amusing things I've seen here, as Mini Moldorm's cave is loaded. Alright, so don't want to take away from the fact that Argus turns into a crystal and a full heart when dying, but Teto just grabbed the hook shot and the moon pearl from Mini Moldorm cave.
I was laughing so hard. That was the first time I've seen the Argus death thing. I was laughing so hard I didn't even look at Mini Moldorm cave. You're going to have to fill me in.
Yeah, we had the red boomerang, which is obviously inferior and useless, but we also did have the moon pearl and the hook shot. So Mini Moldorm cave being nice. Not giving us any money, though, which Teto is starting to hope for, I feel.
Moon pearl and hook shot. That is definitely a very important pair of items. Moon pearl for access to, well, be able to do anything in the Dark World, let alone not access to the Dark World itself, but the ability to do anything. And hookshot will get us across Death Mountain once we can somehow get up there. Now, we do have a flute. We can activate and get up there. So that hookshot and neither runner has both items yet, but the hookshot and flute combination is very tempting to me at this point. I would be going to Death Mountain.
Yeah, most definitely. It's almost definitely the biggest concentration of items we have. Ninban did grab a big 20 out of the Dark Cross. Teto, meanwhile, grabbing a mirror over at Ice Rod Cave. So that's kind of an interesting grab there.
I hate to say this, but let's hear some music first. So yeah, I had to want to think about that before I said it. I hate to say this, but we have everything we need for Swamp Palace except for the hammer.
Yep, it's because hammer is in the bombable portion of swamp there, first chest.
I was just gonna say the same thing. First chest of swamp. So that is going to be screaming at us for probably about half an hour now before the runners go to it, and I would not be surprised to see it there at this point.
That's terrible. Yeah, so meanwhile, Ninban has released the Quacken, which is nice. That is at least something that we have to make our travel a bit easier. Didn't get the boots so far. We're still waiting on those. Hopefully those are somewhere that isn't terrible.
And
old man giving us a nice allowance there. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's his escort tip to get home. So it's nice for him to give you some money for once instead of just, a piece of his heart, which is kind of gross.
Yeah, well, you take him where you can get him, I guess. Alright, so we are going to see a Zora check here. Teto does not have anywhere near enough money to get Zora, but there's the possibility of there being a boatload of rupees.
What was that you said about a boatload of rupees, you witch?
Well, they've got the fire rods. They can successfully burn me for it, I guess.
Yes. You know where to direct your fire. So, look, this is going to be the rare double loop of the Zora area. This is only the second time I've ever seen it. And the first time was probably a week or two ago.
Oh, really? I only saw it once before, but that was during the spoiler log tournament, and both runners knew there was a 300 over here.
So, yeah, here we are. We're going to have the double loop. Just hop down the waterfall. And, hey, we're going to head left here. You don't usually get to see this area. And the nice way to put it is that this was a trip so nice, they're going to make it twice.
You swim my fish right round, right round.
So the only thing that would make this even more glorious is if you give the 500 rupees to Zora after spending all this time and effort to get the financial acquirings for him, and he gives you a single green rupee. Or 20, that works too.
Yeah, that's not much better.
That's more common. Ninban getting his Moon Pearl hookshot cave combination.
Yep. And meanwhile, Teto looks like he is going to be headed into Escape. It's going to be a little bit quicker for him since he does have the mirror. So that will be nice, save a little bit of time, won't have to death warp. Meanwhile, Ninban is headed straight up the mountain like you said before.
Makes sense to me. The nice advantage here is there's probably 300 rupees up here, so he's not going to have to make the double loop to grab the 300 on the ledge. This will save him a little bit of time.
So what did you say about not having to make a double loop?
What do you mean?
Dead rock.
Oh, that's not what I meant.
No, I know, but it was funny to see him lose time in a different way right as you were talking about saving time, as Teto does grab the ocarina there.
We just call that game Dead Rock. That's not anything to do with the loop. But anyway, Ninban going to go into Paradise Cave right now. 7 items in here. Good chance you'll find, lots of money and hearts in here.
Yep, we do have a boatload of item locations. Hopefully it'll be something useful this go around, as I believe last seed we didn't get a whole lot.
You can usually say
not.
You can usually say there's going to be one big 20 in here. With at least 20, with 28 in the game, the odds of big 20 being in here are very, very high.
Yeah, that's a fair point. So far we're just looking at a bottle and a full heart, though, so we'll have to see what is up top.
I have no idea what's up there because we're not seeing it.
Well, there's red mail, a single rupee, and then a heart. I didn't see what the first two were. We'll have to see if there's any inventory change here.
And I see a discussion in chat about the sprites, so just to confirm our sprite matchup here, we have Jogurt versus Argus. That is our matchup today. I don't know what Jogurt's buddy sprite is. We saw it in the last game, and I did look up and I did do a little bit of research on that. I have since lost that research, but I'll bring it back up for those who don't.
I'm not really a fan of Jogurt. Don't like the taste.
Well, that's a different Ogurt. Anyway, Jogurt is a character in the Shining series, Shining Force, Legacy of Great Intention, and other games like Gaiden Final Conflict. That's what that is for those who don't know who Jogurt is. I have no idea who the buddy sprite is, and Argus, well, we're going to get the humor of Argus fighting Argus later.
I mean, there are 2 pendants in the Dark World, so we may very well not get that. We'll see.
Maybe Ninban is trying to game the game by saying, if I play as Argus, you will not make me fight myself.
Yeah, it's not a bad possibility there. It looks like we have the ice rod in our inventory, so I'm fairly certain that was one of the first 2 items in the 5 chest area of Paradox Cave.
Must have been, because we didn't see it. In any case, Teto is heading back down to Kakariko. Ninban checking Ice Rod Cave right now, going to get his mirror.
It looks like the other item in there was actually the Master Sword, as Ninban has that.
He does. So not a bad Paradox Cave, assuming those were the other 2 items there.
Yeah, very much not. And even, I think there were 2 hearts in Paradox Cave, and then another heart in Spiral Cave. So yeah, fairly healthy Death Mountain, Eastern Death Mountain, I should say.
So I might have to take back what I just said about Ninban. Will probably not have to do the double loop in the King Zora area. He only has 412 rupees. I don't think there was enough money to get over 500 on the way to King Zora himself. So we may get to see the double loop again, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I believe that we are going to see that, because I'm fairly certain there were only a couple of big 20s here, which is not going to give us the 88 rupees required.
Mm-hmm. There's one of those big 20s. Ninban is just going to flute. Is he just floating up to the waterfall that way instead of taking the water? No, he's going to Death Mountain. Okay, he doesn't want to go to Zora yet because he doesn't obviously know 300 rupees are on the ledge. But he will flute up there eventually. He will check waterfall at that time, and that's when he will pick up that rest of that loop.
Yep, that mirror does put Hera in logic as well, which is once again the green pendant.
It's interesting that we still have no Dark World access. Actually, we just got to the Dark World, but we're in bunny form, obviously. I saw a red crystal over at Mizumara, but I was not ready for the map check, so I didn't get a good look at it. Hopefully we got more than that.
Alright, so pendants were at Pod and Turtle Rock. Geez. Thieves Town. Goodness gracious.
Oh, and they have the Moon Pearl, so I lied about that. They're not in bunny form. They just can't do much in the Dark World yet. There's our glove. The question in chat, what is Argus's bunny sprite? Is it not just one of his Argai? Am I wrong on that? I can't see what else it would be.
I don't actually know. I haven't seen very many people play as Argus, as it looks like we're actually going to see a pot clip, which is one of the newer glitches we have come across here, because a game that is 30 years old, well, you know, we get to find new stuff about it.
Yeah.
That one not successful, so we're going to try again. The goal here is to skip having to do the lunch break.
Now, this is legal because you can actually fall into this pot a normal way. You can fall into this pot normally. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a second, as we're going to fall into this little room here that we can fall into normally, and this is where we fall into it from, the 5th floor. Or 6th floor, I believe this is. So we're now going to take the fall down to the big chest floor. No, it is the 5th floor. I was counting right. So we're going to get a little bit of lag here. It's going to be hard for me to explain with the lag. But on the floor that we reappeared on, the hole to the very north of where you landed, out of the warp tile, is where you would fall to that pot from. So you're really... It's just a little trick to save some time climbing up, because that hole right there under the 5F is where you would normally fall in. So it's time to fight everyone's favorite pet worm. Moldorm is ready to really bully Ninban around quickly today into the double death. Ninban takes no prisoners. Moldorm takes no prisoners on Ninban today.
Yeah, Moldorm living up to his awfully used nickname, Trolldorm. So yeah, that's fun.
That wasn't a
Thanks,
troll. That
jerk.
That wasn't even troll. That was just, oh, you're gonna walk that way? See ya. And now he's just going to reject the challenge. Moldorm just does not want to fight today.
I don't know. Moldorm seems rather confrontational to me.
Oh, Moldorm is not having any of it today.
All right, so Moldorm, the new batter in our baseball team, is 2 for 2 with 2 doubles.
Now we're getting an Aghanim play from Teto, by the way. He's not making the Death Mountain climb yet. He wants to see if going through Aghanim is the right play. So I don't think he wants to play the play that Ninban is doing, going to Moldorm and try and press Hasarala. He's just going to go straight to Aghanim, go straight for the Dark World, and see if he can get to progression this way. He sees that he has the lamp. He sees he has the Master Sword. The writing's on the wall for him. He's thinking this is where he needs to go. So this is a bit of a gamble since there's still stuff that we can do. But Teto might have narrowed it down to a sense that he thinks this is where we have to go.
Yeah, it's a really interesting play on Tito's side. Meanwhile, Ninban probably at least nearly completely tilted, because that was not fun. It's a good thing that we weren't playing best of 3 with Moldorm, because even though Ninban took him out, yeah, Moldorm still won the best of 3 there.
Yeah, Moldorm would have been the victor of that matchup by far in that case. Moldorm was taking no punches today. 2 punches into the double hole and even rejecting the challenge at one point. So yeah, that was Moldorm's day. There's our powder, by the way. Magic Bat. If we can get to the dark, we don't have the hammer. You'd have to get to it from the Dark World. You can't go there yet. But Magic Bat is now in logic for when we have the access to that part of the Dark World.
Yep, and I'm fairly certain that between both of our runners at this point, we require Aghanim. That's going to be a requirement.
It's confirmed now. So Teto made the right play. It was a gamble, but he made the right play.
If you want to talk about horrible luck here, if memory serves, Ninban's going to go ahead and get a big 20, which is going to leave them 8 rupees short. Yep, and yeah, we're going to get to either see what the stun prize is, which would actually be a heads-up play by Ninban here, or...
He's just killing the crabs.
Alrighty, so...
Use the boomerang, Ninban. Use the boomerang to stun an enemy. That's what you need to do here.
Well, we don't know what the stun prize is, so
we can find out.
Know that would be useful, but...
Oh, he got a jar of magic.
So bad.
He got a jar of magic.
Let's go a little farther. There's 300 rupees.
So do you want to use your boomerang for a stun prize, or you're just going to go with 300 rupees? I think he's just resigned to getting 300 rupees, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to see the double loop of King Zora's domain once again. As the journey's so nice. Oh, he's going to do the stun prize. Good. He's going to find us a heart. So that was not really worth the effort, unfortunately. So he's resigned to doing the double loop. He has no choice. He's going to go for a swim. He's going to hop down the waterfall. Meanwhile, we didn't play our blue ball game because we're enjoying the trips around Zora's domain a little too much. Teto is going to see how many blue balls Aghanim throws today. So far, I think it's 0.
Yeah, I have not seen any at the moment.
Was that a 6 for 6?
I believe so.
Very nice.
Oh yeah, so for those of you who have just joined us in chat, this is a regular old seed. Open mode, 7-7, defeat Ganon, no shuffle for maps and compasses. Everything is just regular old stuff. Neither of our runners decided to change any of the settings for our Game 2 and Game 3.
I'm seeing pendants over at Palace of Darkness and Thieves' Town now that I'm seeing a better look at the map, and I see the red crystal is marked at Turtle Rock, which means Pyramid Fairy is not as likely to hold something like a flute this time, which we already have, by the way.
Yep, so far things have been interesting. We still need quite a few items. We do have the Fire Rod and Ice Rod, so we know we won't be looking for those. that's, one good thing, I guess.
We still need Canis Mario as well. That's another item we need. We need medallions because both of the medallion dungeons are needed. Again, those medallions one or two of them will open those two dungeons, Mr. Mario and Turtle Rock. Did we see Back of Escape yet?
We have not. This is new.
There's a piece of heart and a save and quit. He must have been item counting very, very well, if that's the case. But that doesn't make sense, because he left 3 items doing that.
Small key and map.
Oh, he must have checked the Dark Cross, and I forgot, so...
Yeah, it was a big 20.
It would have had to be small key and map for him to skip those, and I forgot whether he did Dark Cross. I didn't remember if he did or not, so yeah, that makes sense then.
Yeah, Ninban did do Dark Cross. Was probably hoping for a small key to go ahead and get access to the Back of Escape before getting the mitts or getting the gloves, but that did not happen. Speaking of, we're still missing the mitts as well. Again.
Well, the Titan's mitt, yes, we have the Power Glove, but not the Titan's mitt yet. There's our big 20 from Agina. Not what we really want to see there. I missed what that was on the bumper ledge.
Another big 20.
Ah, it was okay. I thought it was a red thing. Didn't see what it was.
All right, so Ninban has embraced the inevitable, and yeah, here comes Aghanim. Yay!
So question about King Zora, and I see chat's already answered, but just to explain what King Zora was today, the Zora ledge with 300 rupees. Both runners did not have enough money when they got up to the King Zora area, so they had to make the loop around with the flippers, grab the 300 rupees, and then head back up to Zora to collect another 20 rupees after paying him 500.
Yeah, so after doing a double lap of the Zora area, you still end up, what, minus, I don't know,
180.
480, so 180.
And we may have enjoyed that a little too much.
I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, so meanwhile, since Skull Woods does get to be a crystal this time, we are going to see a full clear of it. We're starting out in the back, going to go ahead and take out Mothula, maybe find some items back here, which would allow us to not have to worry about the front at all, but no, we get a compass.
That's a great start.
Did you want to find a compass?
No.
I didn't want to find a compass. That was that what I said, or the fact that I was singing?
Yes. Teto is getting a little pushed around a little bit by the Gibdos. They're going to have to get through and does so. The hand fails to grab him, and he slashes through the curtain of nasty wall stuff. He's going to grab that small key, head down, and you don't want to fall into this hole with bad timing because that hand can pluck you out of the hole. Teto is waiting for the noise. There's the hand. Now he's going to kill it and drop down the hole.
Yeah, see, that's one of the changes for the Japanese version versus the English one that is slightly less friendly. You can take damage after having fallen.
In this case, it means that, and I've seen this clipped. I've actually clipped one of them. You can actually fall into the hole. I've seen it in Gans Tower as well, by the way. You can fall into the hole. The hand will come down, pluck you out, and you're back at the start of the dungeon.
Yep. Although that Mothula fight not being too difficult for Teto there, we do get our first item, at least that I saw in Skull Woods, just being 3 bombs, but there's another one somewhere that we're going to grab on the way out.
So Ninban watches Zelda get transport to another dimension for about the 1,537,000th time.
Yeah, so for those in chat who are asking, the gloves that Ninban currently have were sitting in the very first item location over in the Tower of Hera. So sitting in the I don't remember what they call it. Help me.
Basement room?
Yeah, in the basement room with the cage.
Cage room, I think that might be what it's called. And on the pyramid today, we have arrows.
Meanwhile, Tito's still looking for that second item. Still, it's somewhere, we swear.
I don't think we've seen Catfish yet, so Ninban could have checked Catfish since this is probably the best time for him to do that. If it has something useful, anyway.
Yeah, Catfish is one of those things that people don't generally like checking. I don't blame them, but in a situation like this where your Dark World access is agging him, Catfish, yeah, you should probably check that sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that's what I think. Now, Ninban does have good information, having checked the stun prize earlier. He knows it's a heart. So if he runs out low on health somewhere, he knows he can stun an enemy and get some health right away. That's useful information to have. The odds of that happening, however, are very low.
Yeah, regardless of what it is, it's nice to know what the stun prize is, just so you kind of have it in the back of your head. You know, be it arrows, bombs, a fairy, which is nice sometimes. You know, you stun something and you get the fairy, and you're like, oh, wow, that's really useful.
Teto finds a piece of heart at the treasure game. That is grossly vanilla.
Well, yeah, but at least with Randomizer, we know we only have to play the game once to get it.
It is. So Ninban is exploring Palace of Darkness. Teto is exploring Thieves' Tower. We're going to have to try and keep track of the items on both sides here. This is going to become a rapid fire for a moment here.
Yeah, but it might not be rapid fire in terms of actual progression, so we'll see how this one goes.
Well, there's 300 rupees in on Tito's side. I bet he would have loved that when he went to King Zora, but he had to get the one on the ledge instead. There's half magic.
Yep, not a required item, but a really nice safety to have, in my opinion. They did skip it last game, sitting inside of Spectacle Rock, but the randomizer didn't give them much of a choice this time. It's in your way, you're going to pick it up, and you're going to like it.
And it's nice to have if you don't have to waste any extra time getting it, which is the case here. Ninban getting another small key in Palace of Darkness. Again, I believe it's 4 of the first 6 chests have to have a small key in them. That's my understanding from what I've seen of a lot of these races. That's roughly the quotient. There can be more, but I think there have to be at least 4.
Yeah, you need to have 4 in the front 6. And then there's 6 total. So, yeah, there's just a boatload of keys.
Nice! Nice hammer yum from Ninban there, by the way. Didn't spend a lot of time on that at all, so that was very nicely done. There's our bug catching net. Hammer yum.
That is one of the trickier bomb jumps in this game, so very well done. Sorry to cut you off there.
No problem. I was going to say, oh, there's our Titan's Mitt. Forget what I was going to say. The Titan's Mitt is located in Palace of Darkness, which means I don't know if we had to have the first glove to come here. No, we don't have to, because Teto can get in there without the gloves. So that could potentially be the first glove, and that might cause Teto to wonder, okay, what am I getting into here when he finally finds that? Assuming he goes over there before going to Tower of Hera, which I think he might.
Yeah, well, I don't know, because without the hammer, it's going to do a save and quit to get back on the pyramid either way. So, unless the hammer is somewhere between here and Pod, Teto is likely... Yep, as I'm fairly certain Ninban just grabbed the hammer from Each or from Pod, rather, I should say. Sorry.
Wow. Well, that's just disgusting.
So, yeah. Pod had our Dark World package.
That is just disgusting. That is a huge, huge advantage for Ninban with both the glove upgrade and the hammer located in Palace of Darkness. That 100% confirms you had to use Aghanim by logic to get here. You might be able to water walk over here and get to it differently. I don't even know if that was even possible, actually, with a water walk. I think, do you need Titan's Mitt to come down that one area to Palace of Darkness?
It wouldn't have mattered because with the hammer and the mitt being in there, we couldn't even get into Dark World.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, that's true. We couldn't have. That's absolutely right. So, yeah, you had to go through Aghanim just to get to the Dark World today. Even using any kind of glitches wouldn't have mattered today. You had to go through Aghanim.
Yep, even with the insane amount of minor glitches that we are capable of doing to go ahead and skip Aghanim, it was required today. Sorry.
So Teto needs to get over to Palace of Darkness urgently. Absolutely urgently. We will see what he decides to do here.
Yes, this is a situation where Teto can go ahead, clear the rest of stuff in the Dark World, get this location here, get Stumpy, get Cave 45, do Hype Cave, but then you need to save and quit and go ahead and get in the Pod.
And a mechanic of the game, by the way, if you have the defeated Aghanim and you save and quit the Dark World, you will return. I think you have to have the mirror too, if I'm not mistaken. You will start in the Dark World. There's our boots and a Quake Medallion. So for Ninban, the speedrun can now officially begin.
Wow. Yeah, this is, this seed is getting out of hand rather quickly here.
And we have two of our medallions, so let's see if Trouble Rock can be opened. It can be. Ether.
Yep, and once again we had a 3-dig over on the digging game, but no boots this time. It was just a shield upgrade, which Teto decided that he would rather not.
And Stumpy gives a piece of heart before, and taking that piece of heart, he turns into a tree. Poor Stumpy.
Yeah, I really don't understand why that happens. I'm rather stumped about it.
Oh, it's being noted Ether was also in Pod. I didn't even mention that. Ether was also in Pod with the Dark World care package. So Palace of Darkness, urgently, urgently needed.
Yep, meanwhile, we are going to get a Hype Cave check here. We know there's not going to be too much that could even be in here, honestly. We could have Kana Samaria or Book, but I'm not holding my breath. This is going to be a useless one, I feel.
Well, the Cave of Uselessness on Tito's side, starting at the back as he did last race as well. We're finding a lot of uselessness. There's our mushroom. That could be a Kana Samaria. We'll have to hold out to see how useless it is until we get there, though.
You know, Mushroom leading to Kana Samaria takes Fake Powder completely off the docket.
Ninban has decided to mirror to the light world. He's going to call in Swag Duck Air and head over to Misery Mire just to make sure he does not need that Bombos Medallion. I don't mind checking this because he can get Mire's Shed and Checkerboard Cave while he's over here. And I don't know if he's checked the Gina yet. Okay, that was Ether as well, I think.
I mean, you can also go ahead and clear desert, so really not a bad idea. Just come over here and double down as best you can. Well, never mind. Bombos is right there anyways.
Well, it would have been on the doorstep if we needed it, but we don't need it.
Meanwhile, we are going to get that first chest in Swamp check. And yeah, given the limited amount of things that we need at this point, fairly likely going to be useless. Definitely not going to have our hammer or our shot.
He thinks this is a good gamble looking for the hammer because he's gambling the hammer is in here. He does not want to go to Palace of Darkness yet. The best way to put this is he knows that the worst thing the game can do to you is put an item in its vanilla dungeon. Unfortunately for him, the game has put an item in its vanilla dungeon. And while this looks like a good gamble going to Swamp Palace to look for the hammer, we know that's not the right play.
Yeah, I can understand why Teto went ahead and did it. But yeah, the randomizer didn't just put the hammer in pot. It also put everything else there too.
Yeah.
Did Teto skip K45? See, that's why he's going back. Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, he's going to K45.
So yeah, the only slight routing error.
The only thing that can really work for Teto at this point is if he finds something like the Canis Samaria, and that's about it. The Canis Samaria, I don't think the book's even going to help at this point because we can backdoor. So yeah, if he finds a Canis Samaria and Ninban doesn't, that's the one thing that Teto has going for him. But Ninban has the ability to check everything now. He's going to go through every crystal dungeon, and when he finds that Canis Samaria, he's going to be operating in go mode. Because I don't think he needs anything else. Silver arrows would be nice to have, but you don't have to have them. Third sword, nice to have, but you can do Master Sword, Silverless Ganon if you have to.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, all we need is Canis Samaria. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see Ninban hop into Meyer afterwards. Just, you're here, let's just go take a quick look. It wouldn't necessarily be the best play in my opinion, but I've seen the Canis Samaria sitting here in V31 enough times that, well, I might be a little biased towards it potentially being in here.
Oh yeah, you only have 2 items that you can pick up in terms of actual items in there, but I could see Ninban skipping Misery Mire 4 now, just because if you find that big key in the first chest, you don't want to be wasting any more time in there than you have to. So I could see him choosing not to, and if he does that play, that could be to his detriment if the Canis Samaria actually is in there. But we'll see what he decides to do. He could just clear it out while he's here. Again, leave no stone unturned. You're looking for one item, don't leave any stone unturned until you find that item.
Yep, when you're close enough to taste go mode, you generally don't leave things behind that could potentially come back to haunt you.
Now, here's the thing that I find rather amazing. We know where both glove upgrades are. Teto has not been to either of those locations yet. 50 minutes into the seed, he does not have a glove.
Yeah, hopefully about to grab the first one here. Let's get into pod, get all the items in here. But that second glove is going to be problematic. Because at this point, Teto has cleared everything on Death Mountain that he's going to be able to access outside of Hera. And since the glove locks everything else on Death Mountain, that is a super orphan check that Teto is not going to be looking to get back to.
Yeah, orphaning Tower Hera the way he did is going to come back to hurt him in this particular race. I think that could be a huge part of the difference in this race when it comes down to it. Unless Ninban has some serious problems, which Ninban being a really skilled runner, I don't see him doing. But it could happen. Unless he has some serious problems. He is going to do the Misery Mire play, by the way. Unless he has some serious problems, though, I don't know if Teto can come back in this.
Yeah, basically the only way this is going to get close outside of Ninban having some real difficulties with execution here is if this ends up being some insane amount of scavenger hunting for the Red Cane.
And Ninban missing the shot at one of the Wizardrobes. Going to have to take it again, but still a few of these squids out here anyway. So, our lovely Argus Sprite is now going to go hunting for a big key and potentially King of Samaria.
Yeah, Cane of Samaria is really what Ninban's looking for here. It would be awesome to go ahead and get into go mode, especially with the fact that there were 2 dungeons that contained items that are in their vanilla dungeons, being the hammer over in Pod, and then if there's the Cane of Samaria here, it would be in its vanilla dungeon as well. So Ninban probably would be feeling really, really good if we find Soma stuck here in Mire.
I was just about to make that comment about the King of Samaria being here. The fact that he found the hammer in Palace of Darkness like he did suggests that he is making that play that it's going to happen a second time. So that's probably why he wants to do this right now. I was just about to make that comment when you did. We kind of thought the same thing there.
Yeah, well, you know, you have to deal with commentating with me often enough. I'm not surprised that your brain has started to get Stockholm Syndrome on my brainwaves. Anyways, we did see our first item over here, just a piece of heart, and we are looking for one more here in Mire. And we're going to be looking a little longer.
Small keys everywhere, and I think we saw the big key early, so this is kind of like a God Mire. If again, we might not have seen it correctly with the occasional freezing, but it sounds like we may have had a God Mire set up here.
Yeah, it was. It was most definitely a God Mire, and that is that's kind of ironic. Usually, how Randomizer works. If you're looking for something in here, I'll give you the big key first. If you're not looking for something in here, well, the big key is going to be the last place you check, regardless of where that is.
Chad has called for... Well, there's our Tempered Sword. Chad has called for total chaos here. What do I mean by total chaos? Chad wants to see the book on the pedestal and the cane on the tablets. That's awful.
I mean, it's not impossible.
No.
And there's something delightfully ironic about book being on ped, meaning that you absolutely have to blind pull it. So it's not impossible. It's just not terribly likely. But yeah, we'll see. I'm not going to doubt chat as Teto grabs his French vanilla hammer.
And it's probably cursing right now. I don't know if he's picked up his glove yet, but Ninban is now doing his hype cave, or cave of disappointment as I call it. We may get to see what that mushroom is sooner or later since we can flute up there. I don't know if we saw it on Tito's side yet.
I want to say we did. I have no recollection of what it was, though.
For the question in chat, the 2 glove upgrades today were located, well, obviously here in Palace of Darkness where Teto just got it. And the other one is located up in Tower of Hera, a location that Teto did not go into when he checked Death Mountain and has now literally left by itself in an unexplored corner of the world that he will probably never go back to explore until it's too late. And we can only hope that he ends up being funneled up there sooner or later. But given the wide bounty of items that Ninban has, and knowing that Teto will eventually come upon some of those items, the odds of him going back there are very low at this point.
Yeah, it's not looking good. The gloves, or the mitts, I should say, do lock a nice amount of items, including 3 crystals. But yeah, there's not. It's not something that if you're in Tito's position, you're not going to be hankering to get your butt back to Tower of Hera. You're not. But you know, yeah. We'll see.
Especially because it's a pendant dungeon.
Exactly. And
that's
actually,
why he didn't go there.
We are sitting at, you know, in just a moment here, Teto is going to be a Tower of Hera clear away from being able to pull that pedestal, so not been fun there either. And as you did allude to quite a bit earlier when we just about started this third race, Ninban is going to have to go ahead and fight his alter ego here. Argus versus Argus.
Which one is the real one? Stay tuned. Oh, nice little fairy hiding out of view on Tito's side. Didn't go for it, though, because he's pretty good on health. Here, have more explosives. You need them.
Yeah, 7 hearts blue mail right now, or red mail. Tito's feeling pretty good about Helmasaur. Now, as for the fact that Teto is fighting Helmasaur right now, not feeling good about that. But in terms of being able to kill Helmasaur, yeah, that's not going to be an issue.
But if the Chaos Samari is back here, what a play.
That's a good point.
And pedestal does count because it's a pendant.
Teto might actually go for a pedestal play.
He might at this point.
Given that probably feeling super behind, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it.
He didn't have a glove at 50 minutes. He's probably feeling a mile behind. So as soon as he gets to Tower of Harry, he's going to probably feel good about making a pedestal play if that is what he's doing. So he goes to Light World. Is he going to flute to 1? That's what we're wondering here. No, he's fluting to home.
Yeah, we got that hammer. Oh, boy.
Argus versus Argus. Fight!
We're going to get another full clear of the swamp here. Pretty much a high 5 is going to end up being.
Had him over for a photo op, the big Argus against the little Argus there. And photo op complete. Let's just get it out of here, get the item. Just a compass. Now notice that Ninban, I think he went right straight to the back, and the reason he did that is because he is looking for just one item. So if you end up going to the left side and the Chaos Warrior were to be in the back, you're just wasting time going to the left side. He knows that, being a seasoned runner. That's why he went straight to the back. That way, if it was in here, he doesn't have to go back and do left side at all. Now he's going to do left side now that he knows it's not in the back, and he had to do that anyway.
Yeah, Teto coming back in here. This is the second time Teto has stepped into swamp, unfortunately. We'll get to full clear at this time, which is good at least. But don't think we're going to find much of anything here unless that Cane of Samaria is sitting over here on left side.
At this point, the only thing that will help Teto is if the Cane of Samaria is on the pedestal. And the reason I say this is he's going to have to be funneled to Tower of Hera at some point. He's going to get the third glove upgrade. He can complete the third pendant while he's up there. And he can make the gamble to go to Lost Woods and pull the pedestal. It's not even really a gamble at that point. You have everything. Just do it. So he can head over to there, pull the pedestal. And if the Cane of Samaria is on the pedestal, we have no book available for Ninban to check that. That's the one thing that Teto needs to get back in the race. Absolutely the one thing that he needs. Actually, book on pedestal leading to Kane would also be a good setup for him. That'd be even better.
All right, so there is our big key.
So we have to open the big chest. 20 rupees. Now, what else can Ninban do after this is the question. He could, I believe, go to Skull Woods and clear that. That is an option. In terms of crystal dungeons, he
Ice
may
Palace
be able to do
is-
Ice Palace. It may not be in logic, depending on how the keys are laid out. But with the bomb jump, he can do Ice Palace. 100%, I'm sure.
Well, even without the Cane of Samaria, Ninban will always be able to get all 3 items, because in order for the Cane of Samaria to be required, Cold Stare would have to drop a key, which in logic we wouldn't be able to get that key because we wouldn't be able to beat Cold Stare, but we'd still be able to take out everything else.
Right. But you can't, well, but yeah, with the bomb jump you can do that though, so that's not a big issue.
Right, I just mean even logically, Ninban would be able to get all 3 items out of Ice Palace without the bomb jump.
Exactly. And he is making that Ice Palace play. I was thinking that might be his next play, so he is going to clear that out now. Teto is going to take out Argus. By the way, for the little trivia for those who don't know, the creatures around Argus do have a name. They're called Argai. That is their actual name. Look it up. And Teto gets the last puffball or Argai. Well, actually, no, it's still attached. Now he gets it. No, it's being fussy today. Now he gets it down. And time for the hopping, trying to jump on you cycle of I want to crush you. Misses the shot. It gets stuck on the waterfall, comes back the same way, and dies.
Yeah, so that's Argus.
No, Ninban is Argus.
Ha! But anyways, that is another crystal for Teto. We're probably going to get another dip into the swamp here, just to go and check the left side and get that big chest out of the way. Not going to find anything, but you don't want to leave stuff at this point.
So we're being asked the question, who is ahead? That's the question that we don't really like to answer until we know where everything is. And even then, we don't like to answer that question until someone actually has everything. Because Ninban still needs the King of Samaria. And Teto still needs to get to Tower of Hera to get his second glove to have any hope of finishing the seed. Now, where that King of Samaria is going to be extremely crucial to how this seed finishes. If that King of Samaria is locked behind the pendants, i.e. on the pedestal or behind a book on the pedestal, then we have a situation where nobody's really ahead. As long as it's not in either of those kind of positions, it's really just a matter of Ninban finding the cane and then being in go mode, and he will be in a huge advantage, possibly a definitive lead at this point. But it's worth knowing that both runners have the same number of crystals completed. Ninban is going to get his 4th one here. If the cane is attached to the pedestal in some way, or the book behind the pedestal, Teto could be considered in the lead right now because he has 2 pendants done. He just has to go get Tower of Hera and his glove.
Yeah, this is a situation where outside of something unfriendly happening with that Cane of Samaria,
Never mind.
as we see it right there. So yeah, Ninban is officially in go mode at 1 hour, 6 minutes, and about 44 seconds.
Yep.
And yeah, we can definitely say at this point Ninban is in the lead.
Definitively in the lead, yes. So Ninban is going to fall into the Cold Stare fight right now. This being in go mode, he's not going to want to check anything else now. He's going to still get the items on the bosses, obviously, and keys in places. But other than that, He's not checking much. Can I put the puffballs in the corner? Stay in your corner. Take your punishment of sword kills to die. Good enough.
Yep, so at this point on Ninban's side, we are going to see basically Mothula, because we won't have to do anything in Skull Woods. We're going to see Vitreous, because we've already cleared everything out of Mire. And then we're going to see a Go Mode Turtle Rock as best as that can be completed. Because Go Mode Turtle Rock is kind of Go Mode in quotation, since you have to go through most of it anyways. Alright, so meanwhile, what do we have left on Tito's side that they're going to be able to complete?
Not much. I think he can flew over to... He can backdoor Desert Palace. No, he can't. He can't get to Misery Mire. So he can't backdoor Desert Palace. So that's not an option. I think it is only Tower of Hera and any overworld checks. Like this.
Yeah, and those overworld checks are going to get checked first, I feel like, at this point.
Yeah, 100%.
And as we see there, the other two locations, or the other two chests in the back of the sewers here, just the key and the map.
So if we needed the confirmation, now we have it. Teto returning to Link's house and must have something else he feels he needs to check here. I don't know what it is at this point, but apparently he never did escape. No, he's using the portal. Never mind.
Yeah, so I think we're going to get a catfish check here, if I had to guess. Meanwhile, Gibdos being Gibdos on Ninban's side.
I don't think we've seen catfish yet, so you know what? Let's just give him something nice. Give him silver arrows.
With the way this race is going, those silvers aren't even going to come in handy.
No, they're not going to come in handy, but at least give him something to make it a little less painful.
Yeah, at this point, let's not give him the book.
Yeah, give him a nice to have, not a no, I don't want to do that too. Meanwhile, we are down a Skull Woods boss on Ninban's side. We are now 2 dungeons away from heading back to Ganon's Tower for another trip.
Yeah, chat bringing up a good point. This is another situation where it's usually best to go ahead and full clear everything before you commit to Aga 1. Because even though Teto did seem to have a bit of a lead there from just succumbing to the inevitable and going ahead and getting Aga out of the way, that meant that they did not check Hera and aren't going to check Hera until now.
That is a good point, actually, because if he had cleared Tower of Hera before going to Aghanim, he would have gotten his Titans bit. He would have been feeling a lot better about his possibilities here, and he would have felt a lot better about where he could go. He would have had more options. He might have found more items quickly, like Ninban did. Not having that glove really set Teto back, and you called it best, abandoning that check and going straight to Aghanim. It was a gamble, but it turned into his wrongdoing today. His undoing, rather.
Yeah, it gave him what looked like a potential lead to start with, because Teto was the first person to Dark World by probably 5 or 6 minutes, honestly. But
not
yeah,
quite that long, I think, but close.
Yeah, it was. I want to say it was at least 3 or 4 minutes. I'm not great at remembering that, and yeah, seeing those minutes there. Yeah.
1 hour, 11 minutes, and 52 seconds, Teto probably saying to himself, oh no.
Yep, and now we're going to go ahead and get that full clear of Hera that Ninban did. I can only hope at this point that Trolldorm is kinder to Teto than Trolldorm was to Ninban.
I don't know if Trolldorm is seeded, or Moldorm, I should say, because that's the proper name, is seeded in any way. But if so, then Teto might get pushed if he tries to go the wrong way.
I don't believe there's any seeding for Moldor.
I don't think so either.
Just kind of made him random. That was close. Ninban kind of using those Argus tentacles to be able to just hold on to the edge there.
So, one eyeball inside of a octopus or squid is fighting another eyeball, which basically is standalone.
Yeah, both eyeballs are basically standalone at this point.
Please accept my key and do nothing with it. So we're going to have Ninban off to Turtle Rock, the final crystal, before his next climb up Gan's Tower. Let's see what Teto is, how Teto has with Moldorm. Yeah, there's no seeding it. It's a much different pattern. And Moldorm is being very kind. Yeah, it died.
Wouldn't call it very kind, but there wasn't out for blood like he was over on Ninban's
He didn't
side.
push him around. That's what I mean by very kind. He just kind of just meandered around and did his thing. And I'm fairly sure Teto is going to go looking at the Sahasrara Lime at this point, but I could also see him giving us a blind pull of the pedestal. I mean, he has it. It's an item. He can rule it out.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And at this point in the entire list of potential items and where they could be, Tito's probably feeling like, all right, in order for me to have a chance, there needs to be something on the pedestal.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. If he knows at this point, guarantee you, he knows he's behind. So the pedestal, while they're both in the same spot right now, their situation is completely different. Teto is not going to be able to, like, he can open up Turtle Rock. He's not going in. He doesn't have the King of Samaria. And he's not going to try and do anything fancy there. He's just going to go check Hookshot Cave, call it a day, and then head back down the mountain and go looking for that King of Samaria. So the situation is much different right now.
Yeah, Teto also not having the boots, so there's a whole host of things that have just been unfriendly in this seed for Teto. Alright, so Ninban is going to be able to, and I'm going to put this in quotation marks, go mode Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a huge difference, and might not be a difference at all depending on where the items are. But there's a couple of opportunities to skip a room or two and save a little time.
Ninban going to go ahead and do the circle here. What he wants to do is light these 4 torches, get the hook shot out quickly right now if he can. I think he was too slow, so he's going to wait for the next torch. Connect to the torch just like he just did. Fall in the pit, and that gets him to the door a lot quicker than he would otherwise. And that lets him get through this area as quickly as possible. Go to these 2 chests. There is your Cane of Burna, and there's a small key, rather, I should say at this point. And he now has a small key to open the path to Chompy's lair, and by Chompy's lair I mean just a pair of chain chomps who guard a chest in very close proximity and will literally eat you if you stay in their path.
Yeah, those chomps are no joke, man. Those are... Oh, man, I hate the chomp room. It is not fun. You can't kill them. You can't do anything with them. You just have to avoid them, which is not fair.
Well, it is, because by the vanilla point in the game, you have invincibility items you can use to just walk right through and ignore them. You can even pet them if you want to, and they won't do anything to you.
Yeah, that's a fair point, but it's much faster to not do that. So
yes. A skillfully done chain chomp room is one of those things that really sets apart a good runner, I feel. So Ninban is making his way through Turtle Rock. He is... I don't think we saw the big key yet, did we?
I don't believe so, so we're not even going to get to skip this one. And
we have to go to Live Island.
Argus turns into an Argai upon being bunnied.
I thought I remembered that. It made sense anyway.
Exactly.
So while we're getting a look at the Meyer shed, and while Ninban makes his way back to the earlier part of the tube room, let's just review what's coming up later on the Speed Gaming Family of Networks on this tournament. We do have later on tonight Goomba versus Magnificent happening in about a couple hours from now. 6:20 is when that broadcast, Eastern Time. 6:20 p.m. is when that's going to begin. As of this time, that's the only other race that we have on the schedule for today. There are other races tomorrow, none of which are scheduled yet. We'll talk about those later on.
Yeah, but we do have a bit more randomizer that is going to be coming up the rest of the afternoon today, and then over through this upcoming week. So if you haven't gotten your full fix of randomizer, there will be plenty of opportunities to do so.
Yeah, there's a lot of matches on the schedule, just we don't know where them are going to be yet. But that 6:20 is the last one for today, it looks like. I should note that's also on this channel, by the way.
Yep, so upon the conclusion of this race, you can go have yourself some dinner or lunch or breakfast, or just a nice break, depending on where on this lovely planet you are. And then you can come on back in about an hour, hour and a half, and watch another race.
And a lot of the races are really exciting races because all the runners in this tournament are top tier tournaments. You may not be able to tell from some of the races how they lie, but it's just because some racers tend to make gambles in places that other racers may not, and that can lead to a huge difference. That's why Teto gambling to skip, for example, Tower of Hera. You might think, well, that's a silly thing to do, but it's a gamble to skip Tower of Hera. The same thing can happen skipping Humblestar King while he has an important item on it. So that kind of gamble is really what changes this race. It doesn't mean that Teto is not a good runner himself, despite what the tracker may show. It just means that he made the wrong gamble, and unfortunately, that's what happens.
Yeah, this lovely randomizer can get you, and there are definitely a bunch of seeds where you complete that make you look better than you actually are, and there are a bunch of seeds where you complete and they make you look quite a bit worse than what you are. So you take the good with the bad, because that's how randomizer works.
Exactly. And I'm waiting to see if we get that blind pull of pedestal so that we can actually get some pedestal hype in chat here, because we haven't seen really any of these pedestals today.
Yeah, I feel like it's less likely at this point, since Teto only does need the one item, but still possible.
Still possible. So, go ahead.
And even if not, we could still, we'll still get to see it in the credits here, which will be coming up somewhat soon. Anyways, we do have our 7th crystal completed on Ninban's side, so we have a little game we like to play. Cyclone, do you want to go over the rules of that game?
Do you want to do it this time? I'll let you do it.
Yeah, sure, that works. All right, so coming up, we have Ganon's Tower. There are 22 locations in the lower half here, and one of them contains our big key. So go ahead and get a number in chat for where you think that big key is. We are doing numbers 1 through 22. No zeros, no negatives, no decimals, no fractions. And no, pi does not count either. So, that being said, Cyclone, what is your guess, good sir?
Pi. Oh, wait. No, always 11. Are you sticking with 4 like last race?
No. I'm going to call double tile room. Give it to me again, as Teto pulls 50 rupees from the pet.
So get your pedestal unhype in chat, as our 50 rupee pedestal has been discovered.
Tile room. Sorry.
And there's a shield. We're not going to pick that up. And hey, Bob's going to stay with us today. He's not going to be cured of his disease.
Well, I was just going to point that out. I was talking about that last race, and yeah, because we had, I believe, a small key on the torch that go around, so our runners did pick that up and thus murdered Bob. But this go round, provided that we don't get the big key between now and then, we will get to see him as we do
Silvers.
Silvers. And 300 rupees. Well, that's where that was. And another 300 rupees. All right, money room.
So now you know why the loop of Zora's domain was necessary. Ganon was hogging all the money.
Yeah, that money counter's going to be going up for a little bit here.
And done.
Alright, Dark Magician strats. We did get another small key here, so we'll be able to head over right side. We've got, 3 keys in our inventory. We're probably going to skip Tile Room for the time being, which is unfortunate since that's where the big key is. And we're going to go ahead and take out the compass room.
Just realized I forgot to stop the game, and I don't know if it was actually done, but we're going to try here.
And there it is. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I believe.
Yes, it was, and apparently I forgot that that I used the wrong command indicator for the commands, and I have not been doing the big key game right today. Sorry, we're gonna find out who our winner is anyway. Doing this.
Yeah, I gotcha.
More manual.
So the first person to guess 8 today was, I believe, Lowtech. Sorry if I butchered your name. Congratulations on guessing first. Since I explained the big key guessing game, Cyclone, do you want to tell him what he's won?
Well, since the big key game normally awards points for getting it correct, what your prize is my apology for not issuing the correct command to ensure that you would get those points. Congratulations.
There you go. You also get a free lifetime supply of Zelda: A Link to the Past Randomizer. You can just go to the website and go ahead and do that. Keep in mind, this offer is only valid as long as the website is up. And also, you probably want to ignore the fact that everyone has that prize. So, welcome to the group, I guess. Enjoy your prize. Alright, meanwhile, Ninban is headed through the gauntlet here. It's called the gauntlet because it is really, really difficult. And this room aside, our runners generally don't make the gauntlet look difficult, but that is lies. Ignore that. This room is gauntlet's hard as heck. And Ninban's probably going to want to be slightly careful here.
The gauntlet full of Stalfos, Zyzax, and Bebos on conveyor belts, ice to have to move around on, but like you said, the runners make it look easy. They are not easy rooms, but with, maybe with red mail and, 11 hearts, it's actually not as bad as we make it sound.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Meanwhile, these, getting silvers right is not necessarily easy in terms of, timing, and Ninban definitely having some difficulty with the timing here. There we go. It also looks like Teto is going to go ahead and do a bird toss and then head into Meyer looking for that Cane of Samaria, which we know they're not going to find.
Yeah, Teto is unfortunately looking for that one item, and it is going to, I believe it was an Ice Palace, I believe we found, if I remember correctly.
Yep, Ice Palace, Freezer Room, I want to say.
Sounds close, if not exact.
Meanwhile, we do get some of the more satisfying rooms if you can manage to pull them off. The timing isn't necessarily super easy, and Ninban having a little difficulty, but overall, they're not too terribly difficult to complete, and once you do manage them, you feel super awesome for being able to do so.
Oh, hey, we actually have a prize for the big key game. Someone gifted a sub to our winner.
Well, there you go. So as your prize for correctly guessing the big key guessing game, you get a tier 1 sub to Speed Gaming.
That is not a normal prize. That is simply a community member gifting that to them. So that doesn't mean you're going to get that every time you win the big key game.
I guess you could say it's a substitute prize.
Yeah, there you go.
It's okay. I'm proud of my pun, even if you won't acknowledge it.
I got it.
Oh, I know you got it. Hey, look, you guys can all boo, but Low Tech put a lull in there, which means the pun was successful, so you guys can all get out. Anyways, we do have Muldorm 2 here. Let's hope it's a little more friendly for Ninban, and yes, it in fact is. No one getting knocked down 1 or 2 floors at this point.
That platform is easier to fight on than that small, tiny circular platform. It's also ironic that it's shaped as a bat, which tells you something.
That Muldorm was meant to drive you batty? Or were you going for something else? Oh yeah, I guess that Ganon turns into a bat. Yeah, that's a good call. I never thought about that. The more you know.
I'll accept both answers. I don't care.
Yeah, so for those of you who are asking in chat, Teto is currently looking for the Cane of Samaria. The Cane of Samaria is located in Ice Palace.
Well, Ninban went from what looked like a triple to a nuttin'.
And then
I
he
don't
got
know if
clotheslined by an energy beam there. So yeah, Agatu being fun.
Yeah, 3012. There you go. So for Ninban, it is time for the Big Pig. And last race, he talked about being brothers, cousins, whatever, nephew. He being such a ham, he tends to like to say some really interesting things when you drop in. So he talks about being a relative. He talks about trivia. He talks about wanting to rule the world, and you will honor him. What is he going to say this time around? Let's find out.
Some sort of shenanigans, I'm sure, but we'll see.
We're going to find out. I caught that, by the way. Did we really get the same thing?
Yeah, we did. That's probably something that Ninban's asking himself. Oh, actually... Oh, that's hilarious. See, because Ninban didn't fight Ganon the first seed, and Teto is likely not going to fight Ganon this seed, so with their powers combined, they will know that this is a duplicate text, but without it, they would have no idea.
We know because we saw both seeds here, but yeah, they got the same thing 2 seeds in a row. That is funny. Is that even randomized? Anyway, moving on. Ninban is on phase 3 of the Ganon fight, and phase 3 means that he's going to warp a lot, and he is warping a lot. There's our second hit. Temper Tantrum phase, as I call it, means he's also going to pound the floor out as you hit him.
Alright, so I do have a question concerning this. We know that the warps are seeded so that each runner, at least on their first fight of Ganon, gets the same amount of warps. What are they seeded between? Like, seeded between 1 warp and how many?
I don't know what the actual limit is. It might just be seeded to be the exact same thing. The game decides, okay, we're going to do this, and oh, that's just what we're going to do. I don't know what the limit is or if there is even a limit. But I assume that he can only warp so many times before the game is just like, yeah, I'm doing this forever.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the most I've seen for the vanilla game is somewhere around 30.
Wow.
27 or something like that. Yeah, it was not. That's why I asked, because I think the most I've seen in Rando is maybe.
What are you doing, Ninban?
That's Ninban. That's not going to work. You can't just do swag dashes. Oh boy. Take 2, fight.
That was somewhat hilarious.
I am your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate. What does that make us, you ask? Deja vu is what it makes us. Now get out of the way.
I'm still laughing at the swag dash attempt.
Alright, so just like a lot of us do during the holidays, Ninban went for a second helping of bacon. And now has 1 heart left.
Wow, nothing can go wrong here.
Cyclone! Someone ban him. I can't believe you said that. Get out! You do not say that.
I'm serious. He's a good runner. Nothing will go wrong for him.
You better hope so, because if something does...
I think I'll be good this time. He's on silver arrow hit right now. No torch glitch this time, unfortunately. And that bat did come close. He's gonna have to wait for the timing here. That's a little more time this time around. Get the silver arrow hit in, or get the slash first. Now get the silver arrow hit in. He's just not gonna waste time. He's just gonna. Oh no, yeah, he was right the first time. He should have stuck with the torches. So he has to get the torches. There's the fire bat. Let's go light the torches.
I'd like to point out at this point that Cyclone is very much rooting for Ninban, so he doesn't end up doing the ultimate commentator's curse.
I may or may not have been. Anyway, Ninban does get the fourth hit. He went for the swag dash again, but this time gave himself a lot more time to do it. So he was going for the swag dash. He's going to run into the Triforce room without any additional input, and he is done. So with that done,
Right, so
we're going to have to ask him
your
about
Ds
that.
in chat.
His official SRL time of 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 26 seconds, and predictably, Teto forfeit 11 seconds later. He does not want to do these other 3 dungeons at any time in the near future.
Yeah, so can we talk about the whelp that just happened? And Ninban puts a yes. Yes, it did just happen. Good
that
call.
just happened. You very nicely done with the swag dash uncompletion swag dash.
So, speaking of which, we are joined in the booth by Ninban.
GG.
Yeah, GG. And congrats on taking a second helping of bacon.
Thank you, I guess. Good evening.
Yeah, that made me laugh a little bit. So, what was your... let's talk about the Game 3 first, because we just saw that, obviously. What were your thoughts on that seed?
It was a good seed. Pod had everything, and then I skipped Village of Outcasts, so that's good.
Skip Graveyard Chest, you said?
No, I skipped the whole village.
Oh, the whole village. Yeah, the whole village. Okay. And I'm trying to think if there's anything specific in the race that pertained to you. I want to ask you what happened with that swag dash at the end.
I fell? I mean, maybe I did it too early. Like when Ganon disappears from blasting itself out of existence, you can just safely start a dash here. Maybe I started it too early. I don't know. Second time I got it right.
By the way, Teto has joined us. GG to you as well, Teto.
Yeah, greetings. GG's Ninban.
Yeah,
Hello,
GG's.
And I'm going to ask a very important question to you here, Teto. And you might have been talking about it in the SRL. I didn't read it, but I want to ask this anyway. You made the play very quickly that you needed to go to Aghanim. I want to know, when you explored Death Mountain and then made the play to Aghanim, why did you skip Tower of Hera?
Yeah, I have to make a play against Ninban, and I thought, yeah, this is the time where you can skip these 3 items. It's pendant, and you know the whole seed said it's an Aga seed, and yeah, I believed in the Dark World, and yeah, it let me down.
Yeah, that was, for that skip, that was a very nasty package to have come up. The Dark World access, full Dark World access being locked in Palace of Darkness. Obviously, you know this now. Full Dark World access being locked in the Palace of Darkness, and it was a great gamble. You made the great gamble, but to go to Aghanim early, but leaving, it just came up, leaving something like Tower of Hera way up there isolated by itself, just kind of made us wonder why you skipped that. We were trying to figure out what the reasoning was behind that. Was it just because you wanted to skip something and make the gamble, or was there a logical reason why that was what you chose to skip?
It was just the gamble I wanted to try, I wanted to take. I mean, I won the second game maybe, or perhaps because of fake powdering once again, to an early bowl, which lead me quite nice with Palace of Darkness and Eastern Palace in the first seed. And so I thought about, well, try something again in this seed, and maybe it's this Tower of Hera play.
And you mentioned the second game. There was something I found really interesting in that second game, and you mentioned it actually. We found that bow from the fake Fake Mushroom on Magic Bat in the second game, and you both got that as your first bow. Ninban didn't go on and find the silver. Ninban didn't go on and find the silver arrows. It turns out that was the play of the game for that one. That gave you the very convincing win there, Teto, because you got that bow well in advance of Ninban, and the powder locking it was in Gan's tower. So what led to that play instead of doing the logical one, which would have been through Gary?
Yeah, I like fake powering, and yeah, after getting the bow, everything just rolled nicely out. Getting all the items, you were in go mode. You're thinking this might be a win if you play this down now. And after finding powder in GT, you knew, oops, this could be closer than you might want it.
Yeah, the ultimate irony that I came across for these two seeds is that Teto, you won the first game that we played here because you waited and didn't jump into pod immediately. You went ahead and got your bow that was out of logic first, and then you were able to clear pod on the first go ahead and just be able to do that. And then arguably you lost this most recent one because, well, you avoided doing pod right away. So it was kind of a situation where you made the same move both times, and it helped you out the first time and bit you in the butt the second time.
Yeah, this is the reason why you're playing best of three. I mean, Ninban is the better player after these 3 seeds. You can win 1 seed with a lucky gamble, but not 2 of them.
Either way, you guys both did well. Ninban, Moldorm 1 was having none of it today. That was not even really fun to watch, if I'm being perfectly honest. It was just super unfortunate. That worm was not having it.
Yeah, I was having fun.
Yeah, the double, and I think, Hannibal, you actually referred to it as the newest baseball player on the team, 2 doubles, and he also rejected a challenge at one point, which I'm going to call a home run.
Sorry.
Yeah, Moldorm 2 was quite a bit more friendly than Moldorm was this. The Moldorm 1 was this go around.
Yeah, this went better. Still didn't want to abandon the green pendant, so I didn't want to abandon the green pendant, so just finished it, you know.
Yeah, that's a fair point, especially when you walk in there and the first item you see is the glove, and you're like, all right, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way.
Yeah, but I didn't want to isolate Hera because I would never have gotten back in, and I had the hood shot as well, so it was fast to complete. And I think I did a good choice of just trying to not leave everything behind. I made Mire early because I had way too much opened after that pod and Dark Bunting. So then I just rushed my crystals and got my Samaria.
Yeah, Teto made that play too, with the hey, I just need Cane of Samaria. Let's check Mire since I've already just cleared Desert. So it's not a bad play, and it's a situation where we've probably seen it a boatload of times here for V31 when the Cane is just sitting in Mire. So I don't blame either of you for going to go ahead and check that. We've seen it enough times, regardless of how likely or unlikely it is.
It's also just a good play because, well, you don't have the big key yet, so you still have to find it. And it was early, which was a bit of fun today, but it's better to still fulfill the dungeon looking for it, for the king, than to get back to it at the last minute.
And maybe you just go mode Ice Palace afterwards. Yeah, I'm with this.
Yeah.
That would have been nice, wouldn't it?
Well, Ice was nice because we had a key in the first chest anyways. Didn't lose too much time in there.
Yeah, I just knew after Hera I was, maybe, or perhaps, or I was behind, and I just thought, yeah, come on, do all the stuff Ninban isn't going to do after getting the whole access in the world. So I just prepared the emergency pedestal pull, and yeah, nothing worked. That was my last chance somehow in the seat.
Yeah,
I
that was a
want
good
to.
idea.
I want to see it on the pedestal just to make it more, give you a chance to get back in the race, because obviously the miss on Tower Heart put you way behind on that third race. And we knew it was either Book on pedestal leading to Kane or Kane directly on pedestal that would have been your best chance of getting back in it. It was just one of those races where things just didn't go right for you. It doesn't mean, obviously, that you're any less of a runner for making that play. It just means it was the wrong play.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. I mean, it was a great games against Ninban. I had my fun in this tournament. I knew it's going to end somewhere. I getting far more wins than I thought of in the first place. So yeah, not bad. I'm still proud of my top 64 placement.
So, leaning on that, now that we're coming obviously to the end of your tournament, your last time on this particular tournament, any thoughts as you exit the tournament?
Yeah, like I said before, quite happy with all these games in the tournament. Nice player I met, nice games I had, and of course, great commentaries, always these restreams and all the organization behind this. Thanks a lot.
And actually, I do have one more question I want to ask for both of you, because we had something really funny happen that I think I have not seen more than once in game number 3. The 300 rupees located on the Zora ledge and the nice double loop you both had to do with Zora's domain. What were each of your thoughts on that?
Well, maybe it was Dark World Access. I only needed one item for Dark World Access at that point, so I just tried to put back Aghanim as much as possible, just to cover my bases. So that's just it. It's better than doing the 4 minutes Aghanim.
I was
That's
short
fair.
the 200, yeah, and I thought, yeah, maybe on all these checks there might be the 300 rupee hoard, and nowhere close, and just looking at the ledge, and oh, there it is. Yeah, I only had Death Mountain at this moment, so just do the extra round. Perhaps this was one more factor to skip Hera, because yeah, it's taking some time to loop around.
And now back to the serious questions I was on. Now that Ninban, you're advancing after a 2-1 victory here, we do know your next opponent. It is Plasma Cap, as someone I've also called races for in this tournament. Obviously, this is going to be a great matchup coming up. Any thoughts going into that matchup?
I'm a little bit afraid because Plasma Kappa is not an opponent I understand very much. I know he likes to gamble stuff, so it's hard to expect things from these matches. So I just had to be on the edge and do my best, I guess.
Well, I'm expecting that to be a great matchup. He did have some good races in the previous rounds. I might have called one of the R.D. Walsh matches as well. I don't remember, but he did have some great matches in the earlier rounds. I remember he had some great races. I expect this to be a great matchup between the two of you. I could see this going down to a 2-1 matchup as well, honestly. But either way, good luck to you in that upcoming round, and obviously the Kappa as well. I'm not picking a side here. Good luck to both of you, but definitely the best of luck in the next round as you go up into that matchup.
Thank you.
And quick fun fact for both of you, since only one of you fought Ganon in either one, Ganon actually gave the same ending text for both races.
Yeah, that's nice. 1-1 so
Yeah, I did a double take at that myself.
It was particularly funny because, you know, I was sitting here and Cyclone's talking about what Ganon had said last time, and then you drop in and Ganon's like, same thing. We're just like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was laughing for a minute.
But yeah, either way, kudos to both of you. Those were some really nice races. V31's been kind of throwing everyone around, and this was no exception. So good luck to both of you in the future. I do look forward to seeing more races as the number of players kind of dwindles. I think that's it for me. So yeah, that's all I have to say. So you guys can just close stuff up.
Yeah, once again, thanks for having me, and Ninban, good luck. I will cheer you on.
And just to remind everyone once again, there is one more race coming up tonight. That is in about, I think it's about an hour and 10 minutes from now on this channel, Main Speed Gaming channel. That is between Goomba and Magnificent. We do have Etium and Zelnus on standby to do the commentary on that. So make sure you come back and watch that one. And that should be a great race. In fact, I don't know if that's... Let me just see if I can get a confirmation. That is a game... It doesn't say. Does anyone know if that's a game 1, 2, or 3?
Give me just a second. I will look it up.
I'm trying to find that myself, and I don't see anything. Anyway, that while we look that up, that is on the main channel. I'll cover a few races that are taking place tomorrow. None of them are confirmed channels as of yet, but some races happening tomorrow. The day starts at 1:20 p.m. between Sabatender and Walther IV. That is a game number 2. It looks like they're doing standard mode tomorrow for that. Hayfield Bay versus Pika Pals at 2:20 p.m. That's race number 2. No notes on the mode in that one in the submission. Linlin versus Blaine is happening. That's a game number 1. I also see another... Looks like it's either game 1 or 2 because Goomba versus Magnificent is also on at 6:20 tomorrow. And Linlin versus Blaine is actually on Monday. I misread the date on that one. That one's on Monday. So I've already covered all of tomorrow's schedule. 3 races tomorrow. Keep an eye on the channels to see which channel they all appear on. And a lot of other great races coming up as well. I see Scary Oliver versus Algodisson later on the schedule. All 3 games are on the schedule later on next week. Big Dunker versus Jay Meisher. So a lot of great rando to come. A lot of other runners I haven't mentioned that are still in this tournament.
Yep, toss none out there. The Goomba versus Magnificent is going to be game 1.
Fantastic. So make sure you come watch that one tomorrow. Nice open mode seed for that one tomorrow as well. Or tonight. And then tomorrow we'll see what change they make for tomorrow's race when that one is on at the same time tomorrow. 6:20 p.m. tonight and tomorrow. And my guess is it's probably going to be the main channel for both, but at least we know tonight's is on the main channel, and we'll let you know about tomorrow when we know tomorrow. Any last thoughts from you here before we wrap up?
No, that's about all I got. You handled just about everything. The only thing I have to say is may the seeds that you play end up throwing you around a little less than these 2 did.
Indeed. We hope that you all have a wonderful afternoon, since it is still afternoon here, evening if you're in the UK, morning if you're somewhere where it's still morning. And with that said, we hope may not all your seeds be pedestal seeds. Thank you for watching, chat. If it wasn't for you, we'd just be talking to ourselves. So we appreciate having you here. Come back tonight, 6:20, about an hour and change from now. We'll have another race for you to wrap up the day. And we hope you have a great afternoon. See you later.